So for the last video, we have to tackle the small network topologies in Chapter 11. The small the majority of businesses are small. It is not surprising then that the majority of networks are also small. A typical small businesses network is with small networks, the design of the network is usually simple. The number and type of devices included are significantly reduced compared to that of a larger network. Then the network topologies typically involve a single router. It involves single router and one or more switches. So small networks may also have wireless access points, possibly built into the router and the IP phones. As for connection to the internet, normally a small network has a single one connection provided by DSL, cable, or an Ethernet connection. Managing a small network requires many of the same skills as those required for managing a larger one. The majority of work is focused on maintenance and troubleshooting of existing equipment, as well as securing devices and information on the network. The management of a small network is either done by an employee of the company or a person contracted with the company depending on the size and the type of the business. So we have the device selection for a small network. In order to meet user requirements, even small networks require planning and design. Small network requires planning, also design. Next, planning ensures that all requirements, cost factors, and deployment options are given due consideration. When implementing a small network, one of the first design considerations is the type of intermediate device to use to support the network. When selecting the type of intermediate devices, there are a number of factors that need to be considered. So, when selecting the type of intermediate device, there are different factors that we need to consider. The first one is the cost. So the cost of a switch or router is determined by its capacity and features. The device capacity includes the number and types of ports available and the backlink speed. Then the other factors that impact the cost are network management capabilities, embedded security technologies, and optional advanced switching technologies. Then the expense of cable runs required to connect every device on the network must also be considered. Another key element affecting cost consideration is the amount of redundancy. To incorporate into the network. Then next, we have the speed and types of ports. Choosing the number and type of ports on a router or switch is a critical decision. Newer computers have built-in 1 gig NICs, 10 gig ports are already included with some workstations and servers. While it is more expensive, choosing layer 2 devices that can accommodate increased speeds allows the network to evolve without replacing central devices. Then, the next thing to select intermediate devices, we have expandability. In expandability, networking devices come in both fixed and modular physical configurations. Then fixed configurations have a specific number and type of ports or interfaces. Modular devices have expansion slots that provide the flexibility to add new modules. So modular devices have expansion slots that provide flexibility to add new modules, and switches are available with additional ports for high-speed uplinks. Routers can be used to connect different types of networks, and care must be taken to select the appropriate modules and interfaces for the specific medium. Operating system features and services. Depending on the version of the OS, a network device can support certain features and services such as, first one we have the security, then the quality of service. Next, voice over IP. Next, we have layer 3 switching. Then the next one, network address translation. Then the last one is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, or DHCP. IP addressing for a small network. When implementing a small network, it is necessary to plan the IP addressing space. All hosts in an internetwork must have a unique address, then the IP addressing scheme should be planned, documented, and maintained based on the type of device receiving the address. For example, and devices for users, servers, and peripherals, hosts that are accessible from the internet, and then the intermediary devices. So, planning and documenting the IP addressing scheme helps the administrator track device type. For example, if all servers are assigned a host address between the range of 50 to 100, it is easy to identify server traffic by IP address, and this can be very useful when troubleshooting network traffic issues using a protocol analyzer. So in Chapter 11, we have the small network topologies, the single router, and one more switches. Then we have the small network. It requires planning and design. In selecting intermediate device, we have to focus on cost, which is the amount of redundancy, then the speed, types of ports, then expandability, flexibility to add new modules, then we have the security, quality of service, voice over IP, layer 3 switching, networking address translation, and the last one is the DHCP. And now we're done discussing the topics in Chapter 11. entitled Small Network Topologies.